A big fight has erupted meanwhile between the United States of America and the World Health Organization. This is about the investigation into the origins of the Wuhan virus, a probe that proved to be an epic failure. The WHO virtually gave China a clean chit, and now it is fighting with the United States. Washington is questioning the findings of the probe, and Beijing is spinning the inconclusive report in its favor. A lot has happened since that press conference in Wuhan on Tuesday. The United States has refused to accept the WHO report on face value. It wants to independently verify the facts, use its own intelligence, and work with allies to evaluate the report. The US State Department took a shot at China. A reporter asked if China had been transparent with the WHO team. This is what the American spokesperson said in response.
Well, I think the jury's still out. I think clearly the Chinese, at least heretofore, had not offered the requisite transparency that we need, and that just as importantly, again, the international community needs, so that we can prevent these sorts of pandemics from ever happening again. We are going to base our conclusions on nothing other than the data, nothing other than the science, and based on that, we'll come to a conclusion.
A member of the WHO team saw that statement and chose to respond. Take a look at this tweet from Peter Daszak, a zoologist who was in Wuhan. He said, and I'm quoting, "Joe Biden has to look tough on China. Please don't rely too much on US intel, increasingly disengaged under Trump and frankly wrong on many aspects." To be fair, he's not wrong. But the fact that a member of the WHO team has called American intelligence unreliable is also significant. It's a clear attempt to defend this investigation that has frankly found nothing new. Even after spending almost a month in Wuhan, they came up with virtually nothing. Here is another expert from the WHO team, Australian scientist Professor Dominic Dwyer. His statement gives some insight into what really happened in Wuhan. When the WHO team began its investigation, first Professor Dwyer says the virus came from China. In no uncertain words, he says the evidence of the pandemic starting elsewhere is limited and it is not good enough. Very important point. The second thing that Dwyer says is that there were clear differences of opinion between the WHO team and the Chinese side in some areas. In fact, there were some heated exchanges too. So what is it that the WHO team is hiding? What were these differences? And what happened to them? Clearly, there's more to this than meets the eye. Like most experts in the world, America wants to look at the data that the WHO team has gathered.
We're looking forward to receiving the report and the data from the WHO investigation. We haven't looked at the data specifically ourselves, so we'd like to do that. We've expressed our concerns regarding the need for full transparency and access from China and the WHO to all information regarding the earliest days of the pandemic, but we weren't involved directly in the implementation of this investigation, and again, we'll just look forward to reviewing the findings in detail.
The WHO team should welcome this scrutiny. Instead, it is fighting back. This bitter fight is benefiting only one party, and that's China. This probe report is inconclusive, but Beijing is treating the outcome as a triumph. Now, Chinese officials have gone into an overdrive. They are trashing all reports that suggest that the pandemic began in Wuhan. They're aggressively pushing conspiracy theories. China says the pandemic did not begin in Wuhan. It started, in fact, in the United States. Here's an interview from Zheng Guang. This is from China's Center for Disease Control. This official is practically building ground for a WHO investigation in America. Consider these statements, and I'm quoting, "The United States is the focus of traceability. American biology laboratories are all over the world. Why should America set up so many labs? The US should have the courage to be open and transparent. The US should bear the responsibility of proving itself to the world instead of being trapped in hegemonic thinking, covering things up while blaming others for the source of the virus." He said this much. And this is the mother of all spins. First, China tried to cover up the pandemic. When it was quizzed about the origins and the Wuhan lab, it deflected. And now it is calling America the source of the virus without any proof and demanding an investigation into American labs. I said this yesterday and I'll say this again today. The WHO probe has been reduced to a cruel joke on all of us. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.